is, if you get the feeling that you may have overpacked, you probably forgot something. You need all of the things for a powerlifting meet. Now, would you rather be caught out there with too many bags or missing something that you absolutely needed? Right, my thoughts precisely. So today, let's go over what you absolutely need, what you probably want, and what you should bring just in case for your powerlifting meet. This is a non-exhaustive list, but it's definitely a starting point. For your convenience, I created a printable version of everything that we're going to cover in this video. You can grab that in the link in the description box below. And I also have a written guide on the eycblog.com. It's everything that you need to know for your first powerlifting meet. So if you haven't read that, go ahead and check that out as well. Without further ado, let's get into what you need for your powerlifting meet. There are 4 main categories of things to pack. So I broke it down into clothing, equipment, food, and then some bonus items. Let's start with clothing. What you're going to want to put in your gym bag is a singlet, a cotton meat t-shirt. Be sure to check your rule book to make sure that whatever shirt you bring abides by any branding, coloring, and material rules that your federation may have. You need a pair of deadlift socks. These should come up to your knees. You need a pair of not deadlift socks. These should not come up to your knees. They cannot touch your knee sleeves during the squat. Obviously, you need underwear. You need a sports bra if that's your thing. And you may consider bringing a podium fit. So if you wind up getting an award or placing, you're going to be called up to the front. And depending on the size of the meet, it may be streamed, you may have pictures. Either way, you may want to wear something that's not your sweaty, chalk-covered singlet. So I like to just bring a big hoodie that I can throw on over my singlet and I fold it down like a pair of shorts. But if you really think you're placing, you may consider bringing like a nicer jumpsuit or something that just looks a little bit better. Let's dive into equipment. If you were in USAPL previously, all of your equipment had to be IPF approved. Moving forward, who knows what's going to happen? This list is for the unequipped or raw lifter, so keep that in mind during your packing. You're going to want to bring your lifting belt, whatever you've been training with, whether that be prong or lever, that's what you want to bring. Again, make sure it matches your federation's guidelines and rules. If you squat with knee sleeves, go ahead and bring those. You might want to bring wrist wraps. Keep in mind you cannot use wrist straps on your deadlift, but you can use wrist wraps during your bench. Shoes, more shoes, probably another pair of shoes. So whatever shoes you wear to lift in. Some people prefer a different pair of shoes for each lift. For example, you may use a heeled lifting shoe for your squat. You may use a flat Converse or deadlift slipper for your deadlift. And then you may use just a flat lifting shoe in general for your bench. Or you may be like me, I wear the same shoe across all 3 lifts. Lately, it has been the notorious Lift Sumo Sole 2. Previously, it was just a pair of Converse, so whatever floats your boat, make sure you pack all of the shoes that you will need for your lifts. And finally, this may not be a necessity, but I prefer to bring my own chalk. Most of the time, chalk will be provided at meets, but just in case it's not, I like to have mine. Also, I like the way mine feels. I don't know if you've ever used somebody else's chalk, and it's just felt different. But I really like my chalk, so I bring my chalk. Now, potentially the most important category that we're going to cover today, what do you need to bring to eat? You should make sure that the food you bring is things that you would normally eat. You don't want to be introducing new items to your diet on the day of your meet. This could upset your stomach, and that would just be disastrous. In general, you're going to want to bring a meal for weigh-ins, a shit ton of water, an electrolyte drink, maybe Pedialyte or Gatorade, a bunch of snacks for between your lifts, and your pre-workout if that's something that you've been training with. For my post-weigh-in meal, I tend to go with rice, soy sauce, and maybe some peas if we're feeling really spicy that day. But I've seen other people show up with like a whole bag of chips, with a whole pizza. It depends on how much weight you're cutting, the severity of your cut, if you did a water cut or not, if you manipulated your sodium levels. You should definitely work with a coach or maybe even a nutritionist on this one. But in general, just bring something plain to carb up with. You know, carbs are going to be very important for you on that platform. In terms of snacks, I like to bring gummies, candy, some pretzels or something starchy. That's my preference. Again, you can bring something that you've just been eating the whole time. Whatever you know your stomach can handle, whatever you're used to, that's what you want to bring. I also always bring chocolate-covered espresso beans. Now, this is because I live at the very top, if not out of my weight class. And so I almost always run a little bit of like unhealthy mini cut right before my meet, so I will not eat the morning of. This is usually okay. I usually lift in a morning flight, but if I do lift in the afternoon, that's a long time without my caffeine. And I am a coffee person. So I bring these espresso beans because I get my little bit of caffeine and my taste of coffee, which is really a huge part of it. Also a little bit of chocolate, so some sugar, but they weigh next to nothing. So I can eat them without really worrying about tipping my scale, literally. Finally, pre-workout. Don't bring a new pre-workout. If you haven't been training with pre-workout, don't bring it at all. It's not worth it. You're not going to get some superhuman boost just from using pre-workout. So unless you've been training with it consistently and you know how you're going to respond to it, do not bring it. The last category that I have for you guys today are bonus items. So these are items that I recommend bringing, but if you're gonna sacrifice something, it'd probably be off this list. I like to bring a pair of Crocs, slides, slippers, anything comfortable. I put these on between lifts, not attempts, just between lifts. If I'm going to be changing shoes, if it's a long enough break. If not, I just wear them before and after. Just give your feet a break. I promise you'll thank me later. You may consider bringing ammonia. Again, definitely try this out before you bring it to your meet, but you don't have to train with it consistently. Bring some baby powder. This will help during deadlifts. If you don't know why, stay tuned. I'll cover it in a future video. Definitely bring your headphones. I don't know what kind of masochist you are, but that's a whole new level of not having your headphones right before you step out on that platform. I keep mine in up until the very last second, and honestly, my coach or my handler, whoever's with me, grabs the back of them and just holds them as I walk out to the platform. Like, they're just in and then they're not, and I don't even notice because I'm ready and I'm in the zone. If you warm up with any resistance bands, be sure to bring those because they're probably not going to be available for you. And make sure you print out your EYC on the platform cheat sheet so that you have all of the common mistakes, commands, and cues that you're going to need for your performance on the platform. Don't worry, we are going to cover all of that content for the On the Platform cheat sheet in the coming weeks. For now, subscribe so you don't miss it when it comes out, and make sure you grab that printable with the link in the description box so that you have a physical, tangible thing to bring with you on meet day. All of the items that we listed today, food asides, are generally the normal items that you'd keep in your gym bag. So you'll probably wind up with one gym bag and one food bag. You want to make sure that you pack your gym bag in particular smart because you're going to have to pull out your equipment for check-ins before you actually start your event. So just keep that in mind and don't pack your belt all the way at the bottom of your bag under every article of clothing that you brought just because it's bulky. I understand the temptation, but you definitely want to make sure that you have that accessible and all of your other equipment, including your singlet, so that you can check it. Speaking of singlets, do not wear your singlet to the meet. This is because you are going to likely have to check your singlet during equipment check, and if you're wearing it, that makes it a whole lot more difficult. Don't wear your singlet, don't wear the t-shirt that you're going to wear under your singlet. I wear my underwear and sports bra, but technically I think in the rules they reserve the right to check your underwear and sports bra and your socks as well. So make sure you're showing up in something comfortable that you're not competing in. I like to wear a little pair of spandex shorts, much like these, and a really big hoodie. This just keeps me comfortable before I weigh in, and when I weigh in the shorts and my sports bra. If you are in danger of not making weight, you do have the option to weigh in completely nude, so keep that in mind. And if you know you're making weight and you don't really care and it's not going to come down to like a weight determined tie, you can weigh in a whole ass hoodie, it doesn't matter. But keep in mind that every ounce does count, so choose your weigh-in attire wisely, I guess. That is all I have for you. Be sure to grab your free meat packing checklist and On the Platform cheat sheet using the link in the description box below. When you sign up for my email list, you'll also get 2 free different attempt planners. We'll go over attempt planning later on in this series, so be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. This is powerlifting by women for women, finding the strongest version of you, annihilating diet culture, and showing them all what it really means to do absolutely anything like a girl. We'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Don't wait at the